Hey guys, can you hear me? Hey guys, good evening. Today we are going to learn Python dictionary. In case you never heard about that, and I'm going to give you a demo. So first, we will have repair it if it doesn't have the PyCharm. I know some of you guys have some problem to install the PyCharm. Usually when you download in Windows, you download with the PyCharm, you install PyCharm. It should be have the Python 3 installed. If you install in the PyCharm the community version, always remember install the community version. You should come with the Python 3. If not, and you found there's some problem with your PyCharm, you probably just go Python 3. You Google Python 3 and download Python, and now you can download the Python. And for Windows, you have to install it. And for Mac, and you probably, because Mac already have the Python, so I don't think you need to install the Python 3. You can also go if you have the PyCharm, so you probably need to change a little bit configuration only if your PyCharm have some problem, like you can't compile, you can't run any program. So you are using PyCharm, you probably need to change some configuration. In Mac, there's a preference in the PyCharm over here in this menu, but in Windows it should be hidden in the file somewhere over here. It's called settings or preference, whatever. So you choose the preference, and then you could choose the path, I guess, or let me see, interpreter. Yeah, something like this, project interpreter. So you go interpreter, project interpreter. You can over here you change the location of your Python. If you install it, like you click here, you go somewhere and you choose the version for your Python 3.7 or 2.7, something like that. But yeah, just make sure the project interpreter is working in on place. If not, and you should install the, or maybe uninstall the PyCharm and reinstall it. So that's the way to figure out how to use the PyCharm correctly. Again, if you have problem with the PyCharm, you can still using the repair it. With the repair it, and you just go to the your browser, and now I will put that link in the chat box in case you have problem with using the PyCharm. So let's just go back to last week. We have some homework, and our homework is like, let's see, I have some of you guys send me the homework. And all right, so again is from David. So I like him. He's always send me the homework. So I just paste his solution over here. And what he did is like we enter two numbers, and after that we will do the calculations, and you will get the from the return of these two calculations you will have the have something output. So I'm gonna run his program and see if it works or not. And I have put like 1, 2. Let's just simple 1 and 1, and then 2 and 2. So you see if if the program works correctly, and we should have 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and 2 plus 2 equal to 4, 4 plus 2 equal to 6, and we should have a correct answer is 6. So let's see what's the problem with in here, because the reason we have the problem is because we need to, like, we have this input, and for example we have the input to the ls for the first one, 1 and 1, and now we do the calculations, and for every calculation from this function I want you to return something. What is return mean? So I will let you know. So you in a function you can return a value from the function, which means after you do this calculation, and it will return something here. So let's say that is the result 1 equal to this, and now you do result 2 equal to this. So which means if you put the first input to this calculation, and you get some result in result 1, and also you put the second input to the calculations function, and now you get result 2. And if you want to get a total of them, and what we want to do, you just where's my, okay, here we go. So what you need to do, just do result 1 plus result 2. Result 2. Okay, so let's just run the program one more time, and I have 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Now you should get 6. 6 is the answer. All right, so let me just comment this one out, and I'm going to repeat what I got from David's answer, the homework from last week. So first we print, because we print a message to tell your user to say, hey, you should enter something. So you should enter numbers or say goodbye to your need. I don't know what does it mean. What does it mean? But anyway, we just input a list of numbers and separate them by the space, like 1 and 1, something like that. And I also you also ask the user to enter more numbers, like enter another set of numbers, like 2 and 2 in here. And after the input, you want to do some calculations for the for each input. And for each input, we use something called function in Python. In Python, in how to define a function in Python, we use a keyword called def. Def stands for define or definition, define. So you define something, a function name called calculations. Of course you can have your own function name. It doesn't have to be calculations, and that's what we took the name. You can do your own calculations. And now in the function name, behind the function name, you should have a parenthesis. You have a parenthesis, and now you have the column. So you have the column. Anything with the column, have the column, which means the next line should be a block of code, and that means you should have 2 space in front of your code, or you can have 4 space, either 2 space or either 2 space or 4 space, and it's up to you. But usually people would do 2 space because you only type twice, so you got 2 spaces. And of course you can do 4 space. And remember last week, how are we going to do move the whole code block to the right side or the left side? If you want to move the whole code block, and you highlight the whole block of code, now in your keyboard there's a tab key, and if you tap, and it will move the whole code block to the left side. If you want it to come back to the right side, so what you need to do, you just like holding a shift key, and now you tap, and now you go back to the left side. Yeah, like left side, right? And now you go back to the right side. So you see, we have the input. We have the input called ls, and which is parameters, and we pass this parameter from here inside the, when you call the function, inside the parenthesis, and now you pass this one and go all the way to here. It looks like a window for a function. Through this parenthesis, you can pass the value to here. So which means you have ls, and you call this function, and you pass the value from line 15 and go all the way to the line 6, and now you through s1. S1 got the value from ls. Hopefully you got what I'm saying. So now you have the s1 because we are a string, like 1, 1, or you have more than 1, something like that. And we want to split them, and we used our function called split. And we split them with the space. And now you have s1 dot split space, split with the space, and now you have a list of numbers. Unfortunately, when you split from the input, each item in your list is just string. Like here, you see 1 and 1, they are all string. And you see because why we call it string, because it was wrapped by a single quote, and either single quote or double quote, and whatever inside this quote, we call it string. In string, you can't do the mathematics calculation. You have to convert them to the integer or float, whatever. So now you have integer. We use the function called int. We convert each of them, like here 1, we convert it to 1, and we add it up to a variable called total. So in this for loop, and you loop for each of them, and you will get the total of this, of the first input. Okay, and after you got the total amount, now you have the keyword called return. Now you return the total value back to here, so here. So which means after you call the calculations, you got the total value and it's back to here. And now you assign it to result 1. Okay, so for the second input, and for the second input, we put ls2 into the parameter, and we do the whole process, and we will return the total, and now you get result 2. And now I got result 1 and result 2, so we can add them up. So I have result 1 plus the result 2 now equal to 6. Okay, so I'm gonna try one more case and see if it works or not. Now enter the numbers. So I am going to enter 2, 6, 88, 23, 5, 32, 76, something like this. And here is 11, 55, 88, 99, 22, 1,000. Okay, now I got the total is 1507, 1507. Okay, so yeah, that is the homework we had last week. If you haven't finished that yet, you should try it at home. Like once you are finished, please email me your answer. Okay, you don't have to be exactly like what David did, but you got your answer, please send it to me. Okay, now let's go back to the our class, our lesson today, and I am going to pull up the W3 schools in our tutorial, and I go to learn Python. And in learn Python, because so far we learn list. Okay, we learn list. What is a list? A list is just like you use bracket, like this square bracket, and an open square bracket and close square bracket. You wrap some items inside here, and in each item we separate them with commas. So you separate them with the commas, and now we get a list of these items. So in each items, if you want to go get one of them, like here you have in your shopping list, you have apple, banana, and cherry. If you want to get the cherry, so you use index to get the cherry. Like the first one is 0, the second one is 1, and the third one is 2. Because in the list we always start from the index start from 0. So in here is saying this list, the first one index 1, so it should be banana instead of apple, because we start from 0, right? Remember, always remember that 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2. Okay, so of course you can have the -1. So what is -1 means? -1 means like think about this one is 0, and you go to the end, you think about here is 0, so -1 should be come over here. Okay, So we said -1 is this cherry, and -2 is banana. Okay, 0, 1, 2. If you count from the right side, the end, so you count from 0, -1, -2, -3. So that is negative indexing. All right, and we also learn this. So like you have a shopping list and you want to get one of them, you can have the index, right? You use the index, like if you want to get cherry, you would have 0, 1, 2. So index 2 means cherry. But how about if we want to get a list of them, like from banana, I get from banana, cherry, and orange. So how am I going to get these 3 of them? So in Python, it is pretty easy because they also just go from the index, start from this index and end from this index. So let's just count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means it's from 1 to 4, between 1 to 4. Okay. All right, from 1 to 4. So let's just do some coding and test it out. See, we try negative indexing and the sublist of this list. Okay, so we go back to the repair it, and I'm gonna use PyCharm because I like PyCharm. If you don't have PyCharm, you still can stick with the repair it. Okay. Here's my PyCharm. So in PyCharm, I have to create a new file, and I just right click and there's new and go to Python file, and I will just try list, whatever name you like. Just don't use ABC. ABC is bad for PyCharm. Okay, for some reason. I don't know why, because you can name the file name called abc.py. Just don't use it. Okay. So now I have a new file called trylist.py, and now I will define a list called what's my list? Just fruits. Okay, fruits. Whatever. Just fruits. So I'm going to wrap them with a maybe too small. So I'm going to make it bigger. So I have font in my font size to be 26. Okay. So bigger. So I have fruits. So like I just come back here to copy and paste, and you don't have to be exactly the same. You just make sure you copy the whole list, and you can define your own list. Like if you know more fruit than me, like apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, melon, mango. So it's a big list. Too big. Let's just okay. Now I have this list. So first, let's just try out the -1. Print fruits, and you want to get the -1 and see what is in -1. Okay. Now, if you want to run the new file, every time you want to run some new file, you see here, it doesn't show you that file is going to run. So you have to click on the menu, run, and you go to choose run. And once you click run, you have to go choose the file called your new file name. Like here, my file name is called trylist, but maybe you have the other file name. And once I click run, And now if you show mango, which is this guy, -1 is mango. Now if you choose 2 and you run it again, you click run, it's melon, so that is melon. And the other one is like I want to have banana to orange. So what I am going to do is just like print from fruits from let's count from 0 1. So the first one is 1, 1 2 3 4. So it doesn't include kiwi. So from 4 to 1, 1 to 4, 1 to 4 doesn't include kiwi. Okay, but you separate them with the column. Now you just print it and you see we have banana, cherry, and orange. Okay, so I will give you like 4 minutes. You will finish this code and you can experiment with one different substring from different index. You may even try, can I just have -4 here? Yeah, sure, you can try -4 and see what happens. All right, or you maybe have different number and try it out, see it work or not. So I give you 4 minutes. You finish this code either in PyCharm or in Repair It if you doesn't have PyCharm. And once you're done, please let me know and put a message in the chat box so we can continue. Okay. Alright, so I guess most of you guys have been finished, and if you're not, and you can just like um, remove some of the item. It doesn't need that much item, right? So I want to show you the other two function with the leaks. So what you need to do, if like I have apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, and melon and mango. If how about I want to shop it, like apple, banana, cherry, orange should be mango, melon, kiwi, or maybe kiwi and orange should be the last one. So if you want to shop it, and in the list there's a function called fruits dot, you choose short, and you will short it. You short the list. So I'm gonna show you what. It doesn't write. So let's see. I scroll down here, look through the links. So I click short. I should short it. So what's wrong with my short? What's wrong with my short? That's funny. Let's try this one. Oh, I got it. So in Python, the short doesn't return anything. So you have to short it, and like this, and now you have print the fruits. And what you need to do, you have to separate them from two statements. First, you use fruits short, and now you will short it. And because in Python, when you do short, it doesn't return new leaks. So it will short these leaks at the meantime by itself. So if you short it and you want to get the shorted leaks, you have to do short, and now you have clean the fruits. So I will do this one more time. Now you will get apple, banana, cherry, kiwi, mango, melon, orange. So you see the orange come to the end. And how about you want to reverse them? So if you want to reverse them, you just do fruits dot reverse, and now you print the fruits again, and this time it should be orange come to the front. So if I click run, and now you see orange, melon, mango, kiwi, cherry, banana, and apple. Okay, so you can try it out, try this method called short and also reverse, and see if you reverse your fruit leaks. And you can verify with the print and see the order of them. So you do sort and reverse, right? And I think that's it for the leaks. And of course, you want to you want to update the banana to banana 1, you can just like what you need to do, just like fruits, you come over here, you do fruits, and the index 1 equal to banana 1, something like this. And if you have banana 1, and you will change the value of the banana. So if you run it again, and your banana 1, banana 1, banana 1. It will change the banana to be banana 1. And pretty much for the list we have this much, and of course you can remove it if you remove one item, but I will show you next time. Well, let's just go finish the list. We go to the dictionary. That's what I want to show you in today's lesson. So in Python there's something called dictionary. So what dictionary means, like if you at home you have a dictionary, you know there's two things in the dictionary. If you look up for a word, like you should look up the index. So you go to from the index you can find the page and you find the word in Python. And if you want to make a dictionary, and you have the key and the vary, so which means you can have the key and the vary. Okay, in the list we use the square bracket, to wrap the list, but in the dictionary in Python we use a brace. See, use this brace to wrap the value in the dictionary. So for each item here, again, you see the first item we call a key, and the second one is a value. And now for each of them we call them for each item we call them properties. So you have the properties. So you have the key and you have the value, and key and value, key and vary. In this one obviously is a car, so in this car you have the brand, and the brand value is 4, and the model is Mustang, and the year is 1964. Okay, and I just hear some of you guys do discussion in the chat box. So let's just define a dictionary for a restaurant. Okay, so let's go back here. I'll remove this. So I am going to define a dictionary called restaurant. Restaurant. How to spell restaurant? Okay, not sure I spell good enough. Probably not. Restaurant. Restaurant. And let's just change the name. The restaurant 1. Okay, we have restaurant 1, and now you will make a dictionary. So a dictionary means you have the different items in the dictionary, and this item with the key and the value. So let's just do this with the brace. And now you have a name for the restaurant. So the name of the restaurant is for example is a string. So we say pork eyes. Okay, that's pork eyes. And what's wrong with this? Okay, it might have to be, oh yeah, you have to be even the name, you have to be a string. So you have the key is the name. So the name is pork eyes, and now you have the let's say you have the location. The location is in let's say is in 23rd Avenue, whatever, 24th Avenue. Now you have the menu, or maybe the rate. Okay, in the rating, and you will give 5 stars. Just 5 stars is a number, and also the price is the price maybe just not that expensive, right? Pot ice, so it's cheap, something like this. Okay, now you have the restaurant one, and the restaurant one is with the pot ice, location, and rate, and also you have the price, it's cheap, and of course you can define another dictionary. Let's just say restaurant 2, and in restaurant 2 you have the name is KFC, and also have the location is 199th Street, something like that. 99th Street. Now you also have the rate. I don't like KFC that much, so I just saying I give the rate is 3. And now the price also very good, so I would say it's cheap, and something like that. So once you have these two, restaurant 1 and restaurant 2, and now you can run it and see what happened, and there's nothing, no output here, right? And if after you define these two, and we want to see how to get the items in these two dictionary. So if you want to get the name of the first dictionary, you would like print restaurant 1, and now you have now this time we use bracket again, but inside here is not an index, it's a key, we call key. We have a name, so now we have restaurant 1, and if you run it, it should show you the pot ice. So now it's pot ice, and here you have print, and you have restaurant 2, and now again you want the name, and let's see what's the name of the restaurant 2. It should be KFC, and I run it again, so now you have pot ice and KFC. So that's called dictionary, and I will give you 5 minutes. You will define your restaurant 1 and 2, and you print out their name, and it should show exactly what you define in this variable, the name variable. So you have pot ice and KFC, or you can print the rate and also the price, something like that. Once you are done, please let me know, and put it into the chat box so I know you're done. All right, I think most of you guys have been done, and the last thing is like if you have two restaurants, you want to compare two of them. So how are you going to compare it? If like if we compare with the rate, right? If the rate is higher and we said that restaurant is good, so you would do something like this, like um, if restaurant one, the rate is greater than restaurant 2, the rate, okay, now you will, oops, sorry about that, now you will print the best, you will print the better restaurant is now you press restaurant 1 name, okay, else you will print almost the same. You can copy the whole line from here. But just change the restaurant 1 to restaurant 2. So if we compare the rate, if the restaurant 1 is better than restaurant 2, and we say the best restaurant should be restaurant 1, and otherwise else the better restaurant should be restaurant 2. So I'm gonna run it and see which one is the better one. So obviously the pork eyes will, in my case, the better restaurant is pork eyes, and I'm not sure what's your better restaurant. So you just add this piece of code, and we can compare these two restaurants. So pork eyes with against KFC. And now you probably see that why we have the dictionary, because in the dictionary you can have a whole bunch of items. In these items you can have different value, and if you want to get to that value, instead of using the index like the leaks, we use the key, like we use rate, and we can access by the key like the name. So that's the key. So I want you to finish this in 2 minutes, and after that I will give you a homework. So, and then we are going to finish today. All right, so I hopefully you finish this one for the restaurant 1 and restaurant 2, and now you can compare their rate and you get the which one is the better one. For our homework, so I'm going to give you the homework. So for the homework, you are going to define two. You are going to define two like in the game character. Okay, character. Think about that. In your game, there are a few characters. So like if you play, like for example, for what kind of game I play, like I play Minecraft. So for example, there's Steve. So Steve, excuse me. So we define a character. So you with a dictionary. Like for example, you have the character called Steve, and Steve equal to, and let's say we should be character 1. Sorry about that. Character 1. The character 1, and you should have the name of your character. In my case is Steve. And now you would have the health is like 100. Like at the beginning it should be 100. And now you have the armor. And the armor is let's say is 50. And let's say how strong is strong, just maybe strongness. So here I would have 10, something like this. And also you can define more key and value for this character 1. And now you should define another character 2, and the same with dictionary, and you probably with the same kind of keys, or we call it properties for this character 2, and the same. And after that, and I want you to compare the health or the armor with them, and you can compare with them. Okay, so but I want you to define a function called let's call hit or punch, whatever. So you define a hit. So if you have a character 1, C1, C2, now in every hit, so the if C1 is hit C2, if C1 is hit C2, I want C1, the health of the C1, let's say the strong of the C1 will, the strong of the C1 will have to be subtract like 2, something like this. But someone got hit, and you have the health, and the health will subtract 2. And now you can do like hit. You have character 1, you hit character 2. Okay, and after that you can see the verify what happened to character 1's health and their strong or their strength, or it may be strength would be much more strength. Is it right? Strength. Okay, let's have a string. Yeah, of course you should have the different character array. So you would calling the hit function, you hit each other, and now you will get different health and different. You try to hit character 1, hit character 2, or character 2 hit character 1 multiple times, like different time, but they hit with each other. And now you can print the character 1's health and see what happened for the character 1. And also you can see what happened to character 2, like their strength, something like that. Yeah, of course you can have multiple hit, like multiple hit. 1 hit 2, 2 hit 1 or something, but you cannot, you shouldn't the same character hit with each other, right? So hopefully you got what I'm talking about. So I will just make it smaller and you can take a look on the on here, maybe more small. All right, so you see we have these two characters and you will create a function, and these two functions will fight with each other and with different name, of course. Maybe not Steve or something, someone, or Tom or something. So this character in your game, and they can fight with each other. Okay, so if you finish this game with the dictionary and define a function, please email me to help at dataera.ca in the chat box. Okay, that's it for the for today, and I will see you next week. Now we will go for the junior class. All right, guys. I will refill my water, and I will come back with you for the junior level. All right, hey guys. What's up? All right, so today I just want to go through the JavaScript I think most of you guys haven't get a chance to learn the JavaScript. So in W3 schools, there's a tutorial, and you can go through this tutorial, and pretty much like the Python, but they have the syntax is looks a little bit weird. In Python, the syntax is clean and clear, but in JavaScript, and you see they have a whole bunch of different syntax, like they use the brace a lot. So for example, if you go to the if statement, if you go if condition, where's the if? Comparisons. So if you go comparisons, and they use the if, and they have the parenthesis to wrap the condition in, they can do the whole line in one line. Like if age is less than 18, and you have the statement behind them. If you have a code block in Python, you might just like have a column here, and then you go to the next line, and you have two space in front, and then you have the code block for the if statement. But in JavaScript, they use something called the brace. Like if you have a statement inside the parenthesis, and you have the brace to wrap it, wrap the whole code block, and it doesn't have to be have the two space in front, and you don't even need the space. And for the else, they will do the same thing. Okay, so that's one of the difference between JavaScript and Python. So, and also for let's see, for the variables. So in Python, you doesn't need to have the keyword called variable. Like in JavaScript, we use var, and now you can define a variable. So in one program, for one variable, you just define it for once, like var, and now you have variable x. And in some new version of JavaScript, like for some new version of them, and you probably can use not just var, you can use the other one called let x or x1 equal to 5, and or constant x1 equal to 5, something like that. But they do exactly the same like the var, except like constant, they are thinking this variable will not change after this one. They are not going to change that variable, so they said that is constant. For x1, and x1 is pretty much like x, except the we call the score of the life score of the x1 is a little bit different between x. So for now, you can just use var, it's just 5 for ex5. So that is one of the way to do JavaScript. And also in JavaScript, if you want to define a function, you can just do in Python you use def to define a function, but in JavaScript they use function and function name, and the same like Python, and you have the arguments on here or parameters on here, and just have first parameter and second parameter or more parameter, and now you can have a brace to wrap the code for the function. And for the function, you can return something. And you might realize that we always put the semicolons by the end of each statement. And it's not mandatory to put the semi-columns. You don't have to put the semi-columns, but for the good practice, because it's not like Python, you have to be for each line. The code block is used the space in front of each line to separate them. But for JavaScript, because JavaScript you can just move, you can make everything in one line, So that's why if you put the commas here, and if you tell the people, hey, in this statement is stop from here, is break from here. So it's a good practice, and it's good to put the semi-columns to help people to read your code. And also in JavaScript we used let's see, we use array. So here in JavaScript they call arrays. Is pretty much like the list in Python, and they also use the bracket to wrap different items. Okay, different items. In Python you have a dictionary. Yeah, Angela, that's why I just compare them to you, so you guys can understand a little bit between the JavaScript and the Python. And basically they are not that much different, because they both are dynamic programming. They are pretty much the same, but just a few syntax, and it looks weird to if you are learning Python first and you get into the JavaScript and you feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's just because the syntax, like why there's a var in front of the variables, it just to say, hey, you need to define the variable, and you say vir is a define the variable. Okay, and also for the string is the same like Python, except when you assign to the variable, you have to have var. Isn't that much different? So they're pretty much the same. And what else? So in JavaScript, in Python we learn class, right? So in JavaScript they also have class in ES6, but they are not that quite the same. So in JavaScript we usually set everything is an object. Like you can think about the dictionary in Python. In the dictionary in JavaScript, it looks like the object of the JavaScript, like this kind of thing, right? It's like it looks like a dictionary, and then you put it into the JavaScript, the variable. So they looks quite almost the same. So in order to run the JavaScript, so what you can do, and usually the JavaScript will run in the browser. What we call browser is like this Chrome browser, or you have a Firefox, or you have a Safari if you like it. You have Safari, like this kind of Safari, or you have Chrome and this kind of browser. So if you want to try out the JavaScript, every time you just go to your web page here, any web page in Chrome, and you do right click and you choose inspect. Now you probably it will show up on the bottom, like in the bottom here, right? Like in the bottom here. You can do right click, go to any page, any web page, and you can do right click and inspect and it will show you this we call developer console. You just right click, inspect, and it will show up here. And usually we can take a look on each HTML items, like you're moving the cursor, your mouse around that, and you see the different styles on this side. But if you want to run JavaScript, it should be the second tab. It's called console. Okay, it's called console. If you click console, there's a whole bunch of things here, and you can clear them with this button. You can clear them. Now you clear the whole button. Now, what you need to do, you just type some JavaScript over here, and now you can run it and see if it works or not. For example, in Python, you want to print out something, and in JavaScript, you use console.log. Now you say hello world. It's just like print in Python, but they use something called console.log. Okay. Yeah. So something like that. Let me just change to different web page, because this web page just keep annoying me. Okay, then. So block hello world. Okay, and I want you to do the same thing and see if you can pull up your console and have the hello world, and you're printing here. And once you are done, please let me know and put a message in the chat box, so we can continue our HTML5 project like last week. Because I just want you to get used to the JavaScript, and like some of you have never learned the JavaScript, but really doesn't matter. It's almost the same like the Python. It's just some syntax. It looks kind of different or weird, and because they use the brace to hold the code block, and in if condition they use the parenthesis to wrap the condition expression. So not a big deal, and just like if you understand how to use the JavaScript, and you can change the web page, dynamically change the web page. Okay. All right. So yeah, once you have I'm gonna close this one, and because I just want to show you how to use the JavaScript. And of course, if you go to Google, www.google.ca, and you see there's Google here, right? So if you inspect and you find this image is Google, and you can this image is Google. Let's see, they have the ID here. It's called HP logo. So if you want to change it, then you can do document dot get element by ID, and remember the ID is HP logo, something like that, like HP logo. If this ID is this image, right? So you will just remove it and see it will or not. So you will remove it. You see what I mean? And of course you can change the logo to something else, like you have the Let me refresh one more time. Document dot get element by ID. So document means this web page is a document. So document, they have the method called get element by ID. So because in HTML this is the document, and if you want to get this element, and they have the ID called HP logo, so that's why you can get it logo. Now you can change the source. I guess you can change the source to something else, like if you have the other image, something like that. And just want to let you know, yeah, some of the hacker, they can hack something because they can use there's some script to change things in the web page, like something like that. Okay, yeah. Last week we did the, let's see, canvas. So let me just get the canvas. Where's my canvas? Canvas. So I'm going to open my project called canvas, and I'm going to again, I want to run my canvas project, and I just go Chrome, Control O, and go to desktop, and now go canvas. That's my project, and always open the index.html, and I have start game, and just show the big guy here. And if you don't have this one, I am pretty sure you can. Let me see. I can. I have a project, and give me 1 second. Just like sign up. I have this, and my palette, and HTML. If you don't have it, and you can go to my my project, and you can copy the index, script, and smiley face, and style.css, and you can do the same thing. Like here, I run it. You should have. There's my button. So smiley face, something like that. So I just paste the link in my repo, in case you doesn't have this finish in last week. So you should have something like this. Okay, and now you can run start game, and you show you the smiley face. And let's just go through what we did last week. And in the HTML file, last week we add a button. We have a button, and in this button, in the attribute of the HTML, so there's an attribute called onClick. OnClick means if you click something, it will call the script in the onClick attribute. So you click it, and it will call the function called start game. And the start game this function was defined in the main.js. Okay, in the main.js. So we define start game over here. And now if you click this start game, and it will call this function called start game. So what start game do is just like they draw the image. They draw the screen image into the canvas, into this canvas, my canvas, which was defined in the next element, like here. is a big canvas, like 2000 width and 1000 high. And we have some assets like smiley, .jpg, but I just hide them because I said display none and you didn't see it. And I load this image to here. So if I run it one more time, you will see what I mean. And there's nothing over here because I hide it. And if you do inspect, and you do inspect, and you see the image is here, but you can't see it because I have the CSS variable called display none. You can't see it. If you remove the display none, it should be show up here. Okay, but if you have the display none, there's nothing here. So because we just use this CSS element to display or not display. So like last week I told you, you can go to the game art 3. Guess over here. So let's see which one. Yeah, and I copied this one called game art 2D, and you go to that one from the chat box, and you should download one of them. And let's just click on the first one, and I'm gonna download it. So I download one. If you haven't downloaded it, and you should try to download it. So after I download, oops, and I should have it here. I open it. So there are a whole bunch of image over here, whole bunch of them. So obviously, if I show you, they just have like walking, and I guess that is different action for this image. Like if you are walking, running, or yeah, walking and running, and if you see the name and you can guess it's run or walk or if you forgot where it is, you can just like you click free download, right? In your Chrome, if you can't find where did I download it, and you can go to the this button. You're over here and you choose downloads. You go here, downloads, and now it will show you like I just download this called fretboard, right? And you just click show in the folder or show in the file in map. You just click here. This link will show you. It will come over there. You got it? You got what I'm saying? So in case you don't know where it go, and then you go to the Chrome, you click here, you go choose downloads, and there's a whole bunch of download I did, and you should click on this button and it will show you where did you download your file. And you also, if it is a zip it, like in my one is already zip and it's not a folder, you have to right click it and unzip it. Like if I go to download Chrome, and you should have a zip file, .zip file, and you right click, and in Windows you have the option to extract it, and in Mac you can use this tool to unzip it, or you can double click it and to unzip it in Mac. But in Windows, if you double click it, I don't think it will unzip it, but you have to right click and choose the menu. There's something called extract. So you will extract. Now you can extract the file boy, and now you get a lot of image. So once you got this thing, you can copy the whole folder. Like I have here the whole folder. You can copy. Just copy PNG. Like in Windows, you copy them, and now you go back to the project you have, and just open the project in your Explorer, File Explorer, or in Map. You go to the Finder, and you go to the project you have. You right click and paste them. Just paste them, and now you have the folder. If you are working with the Repawit, in the Repawit, again you have the option here. You right click this, not right click, just click on this button, and now you have upload. Now you go to your download folders, and after you unzip it, and you should have the PNG. Now you just upload, and now you choose upload. So now you would have, oh, I guess they too bad, and they upload everything here instead of with the folder. So I guess you have, before you upload, you should add a folder called PNG. Now you have the PNG, and now you click here to add a folder, or no, you click on here, and now you maybe just now you upload the files or upload folders, and upload the files into the PNG. Let me try one more time, and I just upload and upload again. So you should have everything in your Repawit. Okay. Now I go back to the Visual Studio Code, and now I have a folder called PNG, and hopefully you do. And I will give you 5 minutes. You will load all your file into your project, like PNG here. Okay. And after you are finished, you have the PNG folder in your folder, and we will continue to work on this image. Okay, once you're done, please let me know. Yeah, that's the thing with the Repawit. It's not easy to get rid of them. Otherwise, you probably need to delete them. Like you delete them. But like, because like what I did here, if you want to delete them, you have to delete it one by one. That is, you have to delete them. That's why I want you guys to use the Visual Studio Code. is much more easier to do if you use the repair it. You can do things right easily. I mean, you can do the multiple files, delete them all together. So that's not good. All right. I think you guys already have the files in your project. Like at least you have walk, like walk from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that, all the way to 14. Okay, so let's just go to the let's just go back to the HTML index.html, and we are going to load index.html. And there's one way to do that is like you are going to just change the this one, the image. Like you have the source. If you want to load them like this, you have this kind of thing. You change the image, this one, remove the ID. You have the let's not remove the ID. You still have the ID, and you let's just say walk1. Okay, and now you have the source, it's PNG, and now you type walk1, right? And now you just do 14 of the image. If you load all of them, like something like that, but you have to change the ID to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, now it's 13, 14, something like that. You know what I mean? So you have the image, and now you should change the name to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And what I did here is because we have this much image, right? From 1 to 14, or to 15, even to 15. So I just load all this image into my HTML, so I can use all of them to show the image in your canvas. So you know what I mean? So you define use the image, and you have the ID and the source, and each of them will be the same, like the walk 1 to 15, 1 to 15. Okay, if you get what I'm talking about, and you can do something like that. And again, if your one is a zip file, you have to unzip it. Okay, let me do it one more time. So like I show you in the downloads. So in the downloads, I download into my folder called Chrome, but it's up to you. You should have a zip file like Flatboy, right? In the Flatboy, you right click, and you in Windows you should have something called extract. You can extract them, or you can you in Mac you can use the archive utility, or double click them, so you would extract them to many image. If you think if it just show up all the image in this folder, you can right click and create a new folder. Like you can create a folder called PNG, or because here I already have the PNG, let's just PNG3. Okay, so I have PNG or image, or you can have the folder called image, whatever, just have a folder called image, and you can copy this flatboy into the image folder. Now you in your image folder you should have like let me show you like this way, more like the in Windows. So you have the zip file in your image, in your image folder, in this image folder. So I create a new folder called image, and you copy it and put your zip file in here in your image folder. Now if you have it in your image folder, and now you can unzip it. So you would unzip it. So if you come over here, you click on the zip file, you right click, and now you should have extract in your menu, extract them. So like here in map, if I double click it, it will unzip it. Like you can have all the image over here. Okay, and now you can remove delete the zip file. You can choose in Windows, you can hit the delete button to delete it, or right click and you choose delete in your menu in Windows, but in Mac is move to trash, and you just move it to the trash. Now you should have a whole bunch of image in the after you unzip it, right? Or maybe it looks like this, like you have a whole bunch of file, a lot of file in here. So now you can one way is like you can select all of them, like Control plus A, you copy. You can do copy. You choose copy, and now you go back to your project, like here in your project, and you add the new folder called image, something like that, or image. It's up to you. And you come over here and you click on the image folder. Now you can paste all of them. I go back here and copy it one more time. And I may just in map I may drop them into the image. So something like that. In Windows, you may just select all of them and go to the your Visual Studio Code, and you paste the file into your folder. In the Repel It, Android is weird. In the Windows, it should have the yeah, you can click on the zip file, double click the zip file, and you open it, and there should be all the file is there, and now you can copy it. You can copy it, and now you can dump it to the folder in your project. Even change them to PNG. I'm not sure. So probably I can help you out after this lesson. But basically, if you want to in Windows, if you want to unzip a file, is very easy. Like let's see, Windows, how to unzip unzip files. So you should have extract all, something like that. You should have something like this. Let's see, to zip file, to unzip. So if you go to the file explorer, you found the zip it folder, and now you want to unzip it, you just right click and extract all. So you will extract the whole folder. Okay, so yeah, I guess that is pretty easy for you guys to unless you have some problem to unzip them. And what you need to do is just unzip them and you make a whole bunch of image like this kind of thing. You have the PNG, and what in the source you have to point to that PNG, that image. Like here is in the folder called PNG, and it's not necessary just in the PNG. You can point it to the image or whatever you put your image file. So it's just like how you go to that folder and grab the image to the source, and now you can load for the image file. And now you will load all the image, right? And now this time in your JavaScript you can access all of them. Like you can let's just print out the first one. If you have the walk one, so for the walk one ID, you are going to change the get element by ID from the screen and going to the walk one. So I'm going to just change this ID to walk one, and you should show your first. You refresh, and you will have this guy and show up here. And probably it's too big for us, so we will make it smaller. But yeah, I want you to just show up your first element in your game, the canvas, like in your canvas, just like you have this walk one. Now it should show up the first element here, the image in here. When you click the start game, it show up here. Okay. Like yeah, I know some of you guys still have struggle to unzip your file. So after this class, I probably can help you a little bit, but I didn't have time. After this class, probably like I will call you. Or you can see if you can figure it out by yourself or not, because unzip a file is not that hard. You just download it and right click and extract all. Like Angela said, this might be you are not using the file explorer in Windows, so you may go to the there's a zero folder in your menu in the taskbar, and you choose that folder and you go to the folder you just download that one. So yeah, we will go back here because we draw our image, and the image draw on the position 0 and 0. So but what I saw here is the image is too big, so I want to resize it to smaller. So let's see how to resize this image to a smaller image. So I go back to the HTML file. It's called canvas draw image. So I will click here, and because most of the time I cannot remember all the parameter for the draw image. Like here, you can draw the image in this position, but they have more. Obviously they have more parameters. Like here, they have the first one is the image. The second one is the coordinate of the x and y, like, and then you have the width and the height for the image. So which means I have x and y, and now I have the width and height for the image, and you also have the x and y to place the image on the canvas, and also you have the width and the height of the image to use. So it starts like there are x, y, x, width and height, x, y, and width height. So what does it mean? It means like the first one is like the first x and y is for the let's see, is for the first one is for the like let me say like that. The first one is like where you should put your image. The first four the first one is the image, then the second to the fifth one is saying this position, the position of the image should be pinned in the canvas, like in here. From the like in this case, is saying is from 10 to 10 and 150 and 180. And this one you can see there's a whole bunch of things, but basically what it means, it just means where you should put the image and how big the image should be, something like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just like in drawing this image. So what I would do is like, let's just try 200 and 200, and again if I draw it like this way, and I will see it would truncate my image. Like now you can see I will draw the image in 0, 0 and 200 to 200, like this big, like 200 to 200. You draw the whole image into this frame. So what I want you to do, you just into your JavaScript file, you change from 0 to 0, 200 to 200, which means 0 to 200, probably here, like this window. You change a little bit, 0, 0, 200, 200. Now you can change it from like in this square or place, and you put it over here. Okay, just come over here and change 200 to 200. Okay, and of course you can do one more, like image 2 equal to document dot get element by ID. Now you would have walk 2 because I have walk 1, right? And this time you draw the image in from let's just draw it from the first one is the X, right? So now you have 200, you move it 200, and now you would have something like this. So you would draw the second one, come from here to here. Alright, so Andrea, and after this class I will join you in the Zoom, and very quick, and hopefully I can help you to unzip the file. But yeah, for the rest of you guys, I just want to show you one more trick. And so how do you draw different picture? And in JavaScript we use a, a function called set interval. Let's call JavaScript set interval, and in here, which means you can call a function in every 3 seconds, like in this case, call a function in every 3 seconds. What does it mean? It means after 3 seconds you will draw something else. So you know what I mean? If you want to make it keep moving, you can use this function called setInterval to call a function. Like this one is 3000 milliseconds, and now you can have it to just keep calling this function again and again. And now this image is you keep drawing it again and again. But of course, before that, you can clear it. You have to clear your canvas. But right now, I just want you to show these two guys here, and because you get some how to get some sense how to use the draw image, because you just drawing in different location, like 200, 0, of course you can have drawing them in different location, like walk 3 and walk 3. Now you have 200 and 200. You know, this you shouldn't change this 200 and 200 because that is the width and the height for your frame. Like you come over here, 0 and 200. Now it's 200 and 200 big. And if you still have the struggle, what is it, and you just come back to the W3 schools, you find the definition for the parameters. So I also keep it here. All right. So yeah, like what I said, if you are good at reading using this function, you should be able to keep changing your image instead of just printing them like this. You can keep changing in one location, and you can make it moving. So next week I will show you how to make it moving, make this guy walk from here all the way to here, and even we will use the keyboard to control this guy, how it move, like of course not like this, but yeah, I will show you how to make this guy to keep moving and walking or jumping or doing something like that. You know what I mean? That's how the game works. But today, if you probably just draw the different image from your PNG folder or image folder, it's up to you, and load them to your game board, and then you make this one just working. Okay, and that's it for today. And if you still have the problem, you can join the Zoom, and I can help you in like within 5 minutes, because I have something to do today. Now I am turn off my YouTube, and you can enjoy the Zoom.